Quotable. This podcast sucks. Don't give two fucks. We stole your ears and attention. Jane, get me off this crazy thing called love. This is So I Married an Axe Murderer, folks. Let's get into it. Fuck. Token Mike hit right off the bat.
Out of the gate.
We're complete professionals here. Well, that was fun.
It took us 3 minutes to write that. 15 words.
Yeah, but it took me half an hour to figure out how to set this recording up. I done fucked up. Won't be the first time or last.
All in the process of trying to find new music.
So,
God, I hate that song.
I know. We've been toying with the idea of getting a new song. What we were using a while back is no longer available because podcasters by Spotify changed their entire format.
I know, it's so stupid.
But I'm not going to bash them because they're allowing us the opportunity to stream our podcast.
Yeah, just bring it back, though.
Yeah, I'm going to see if there's a contact. Maybe there's a person I can write a strongly worded letter to, but...
Oh, there better be.
But I digress. I've been wanting to do this movie for a while, and it's just because sometimes these clips from the movie come up, and...
Only because it's the greatest movie ever made.
It's... I gotta say, before Austin Powers came out, Mike Myers played his own father in this movie.
Right.
And it's one of the greatest roles I think he ever did.
Yeah, as the father.
As the father.
As a
yeah.
Faja.
Jafaja.
His Faja.
And the one scene in particular, which if you haven't seen the movie, like you've got to watch it.
I'm pretty sure by this point everyone has seen it.
At least they've seen the clip.
Yeah. Hid! Pants! Now!
So there's this scene where Mike Myers, as his father, is sitting on the couch next to his character's friend, his buddy, who's a cop. And the father is yelling at the son, the son, who is the guy that plays Averman in The Mighty Ducks.
Yes.
So he's got this big red afro, and he's sitting like right in front of the television. So he's yelling at the kid to move. Hid! Paper, now!
Hid! Move!
Go outside and get the paper if you can. Hauling that gargantuan cranium about. Boy, I tell you, that boy's head's like Sputnik. Spherical, but quite pointy apart.
I like the friend is just dying hysterically.
And this was not planned.
No. It is, what was his name? Tony?
I think so.
Yeah. And he is just...
Reaction is so genuine.
He's like, you're going to give the boy a complex.
But that's a kid's head like an orange on a toothpick.
Yeah, but then I like when he finally admits it. He was like, all right, that one was a little over the line.
He'll be crying himself to sleep tonight on this huge pillow. It's a virtual planetoid, has its own weather systems.
So for me, like, that's one of my favorite scenes, and I think it's one of everybody's favorite scenes. But another one that goes close to that is actually kind of that whole scene in itself. I love his introduction into the movie because you have Charlie who goes to get his parents a haggis from this butcher shop and gets the haggis, goes and meets his parents, goes to his parents' house, and when he pulls up, you hear the Bay City Rollers Saturday.
Oh, yeah.
Playing.
Oh, yeah.
So he's just like, S-A-T-Y-D-Y-D. S-A-T-Y-D-Y. It's just so funny. But then he has the whole section. But I like when Charlie shows up. They're there. He's there to watch the soccer game. Well, Charlie's not there to watch the soccer game. Charlie's, I guess, just there to visit.
Yeah.
Yeah, because And she find out pretty early that Charlie's not really into sports. So the soccer game's playing, but his mom's like, "Oh, Charlie, come with me." And he was like, "Yeah, run off with your mother and try on dresses." Just like anything
He's such a dick to Charlie.
anything he can do just to humiliate his kid is phenomenal. But during the soccer game and everything, and then the soccer game's over, but dad is drunk, so he's like sitting there singing that Scottish song. He's like, "You're in my eyes, you're in my dreams." But then they're going to leave, and the mom kisses Tony. And, well, she doesn't kiss him. I mean, it's just a full-on makeout session.
Oh, yeah.
And then she
got the hots for Tony.
Yeah, and she's like, oh, you grew up to be a wee sexy bastard, didn't you? And then she was like, "Yeah, all right, goodbye, Charlie." And then Charlie's like, "Goodbye, Dad." And he's like, "Fine, go. You've stayed your hour."
So one thing that you will notice, like if you close your eyes, it's almost like before Fat Bastard.
Yeah.
There was Charlie's Faja.
Yeah, pretty much. But anytime his dad is in the scene is hysterical. And then the scene where after Charlie gets married and he's singing Rod Stewart's "Do You Think I'm Sexy?" But the bagpiper is playing. He was like, "Piper solo."
And then the piper actually passes out because he was pissed as a fart.
It's like, we've got a piper down. A piper is that. Don't worry, he's just pissed.
Now, I am curious. I don't know if Mike Myers has Scottish roots that I'm not aware of, but I feel like he probably does.
I don't know. I mean, Myers doesn't seem like a very Scottish name.
No.
So I would assume it to be more English than anything.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe he just has an appreciation for the culture, which is, why he made the choice to bring Fat Bastard into the Austin Powers series.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, he's pretty convincing Scottish accent, at least.
He is. Yeah. It was. I do like, I think probably my, God, what was the other scene?
Spit it to it.
Tony,
fuck am I?
Tony's boss, Alan Arkin. May he
oh my
rest.
God!
I think that was perfect casting because his boss is just so funny.
Because it's like a different personality for like what he's like the captain.
Yeah,
he's like the police captain, but he's too timid. And so Tony's trying to convince him. He's like, "I want you to be like one of those angry cops."
Yeah, and he was like, "Oh, I don't really think I can do that." But he was like, "Yeah, I mean, I want to hear that, the commissioner's just reaming you a new one because of all my antics and everything." And he was like, "Well, I don't really report to a commissioner. I report to a board."
He's like, "Just go with it. Come
like
on."
A board of people and stuff. And he was like, "See, just look at that. You're too nice." You say, "I'm too nice." So he has to work on this just to please him. Which, I mean, everything that he does is hysterical beyond that. So, like when the lady confesses to the murder or whatever, and then he just storms in his office and he was like, "Hey, I hear you've been nosing around in the Ralph Elliott, the Ralph Elliott case." And he was like, "Stay off this. This is strictly homicide." He was like, No, Chief, I got a good feeling about this. Like, it was like, "Oh yeah. Oh, I bet you have a good feeling." He's like, "Yeah, so what is it?" And he's like, "Oh, you want to know what it is?" He was like, "Yeah, well, she confessed to other murders." He's like, "I knew it." He was like, "Yeah, she confessed to the murder of Abraham Lincoln, Warren G. Harding, and Joan of Arc and Julius Caesar." And
she's a nutcase.
She's a nutbag. So, but then when he Tony rushes out of the room and then immediately comes back and he was like, "That was good. That was really good. Made a lot of improvements."
He's like, yeah, I felt like it was pretty good at the beginning.
Yeah.
But he's like, "You don't think I went overboard at the end there?"
He's like, no, it was perfect. But I like it when he's going to leave because he was like, "Well, I'll work on it." And he was like, "Yeah, work on it." He just got done telling him it was okay.
So movies from this time, like the early 90s,
were great.
They've got a certain feel to them.
Yes.
And a lot of it has to do with like the style, like the way that people are dressed, the hairstyle. Like it's very apparent that this is like a 90s movie.
Yeah, and I think the music choice actually helps out a lot.
The music definitely adds to it for sure.
Definitely scream 93.
Mike's character, Charlie, he's got the hair parted in the middle, which was very popular at that time.
Yeah.
I had that same hairstyle for a long time.
I have that hairstyle right now.
You do.
If it's not up in a ponytail, trust me, it's parted down the middle.
Just like, what else are you gonna do?
Nothing.
Exactly.
There's nothing I can do.
I know. Your
it's
hands
just
are
too
tied.
long.
This is one movie that I like with my mom. She's aware of this movie. I want to say like she'd seen the movie before I ever did, and it's one I think just because of the Scottish father thing that really stood out to her. She thinks it's absolutely hysterical, and I had a like a strong like Christian upbringing, mostly because of my mom and my grandparents on her side, may they rest. And so for her to watch a movie that has some like language, vulgarity, stuff like that, it's like it was kind of surprising that she was even aware of something like that. But it is a movie that we both have in common where we can kind of have a laugh just talking about it. So that's it reminds me of my mom, and I appreciate that.
That is good. That is a very good appreciation.
The opening scene, which is in like a smoky, like a jazz bar kind of club, whatever. I don't know what you would even call it.
Yeah, I don't know really what you would call it either.
But it's like where they do the open mic.
Yeah, I do like the name of the joint. It's called Rhodes.
Roads.
Rudes.
Which is interesting because we're recording on a Rodecaster Pro 2. Thanks a lot, Rodecaster.
Yeah, I know. I mean, they're not paying us or anything.
No, we're not sponsored.
Yeah, it's a shameless plug.
We can't find sponsors. But it was kind of gross how they opened this scene because they have this empty, gigantic cappuccino mug that they grab off of a table. They take it back to the kitchen. It was interesting. It was cool how they filmed this thing.
Yeah.
Because it's like they have the tray, like the waitress's like tray, but it's like right mounted on the front of the camera. So when she grabs this empty mug, she puts it perfectly centered. So you just see like that front rim of the cup as she's walking through this bar. Takes it back to the kitchen, hands it to the dishwasher. He quickly just rinses it out in the soapy water, rinses it off.
Gives it a quick wipe down, puts it in, as you would like to think, clean water, but God knows how many cups have been on that side of the sink.
Oh, it's a cesspool.
Yeah,
for
so
sure.
that is no longer clean. He then hands it to some dude with a white towel that just dries it off really quick, and bam, they fill it up with cappuccino again.
They dump 2 little mugs of the coffee, I guess, and then they just top it off with a shit ton of cream, like foam.
It's froth at this point.
Yeah. It could be soapy water for all we know.
A little bit of cinnamon.
The cinnamon on top, and then they go and drop it off to Charlie. He's like, excuse me, miss. I think there must be a mistake. I ordered the large cappuccino.
Hello. Mike Myers was famous just for that.
Yeah. Just for saying the hello. And he does it multiple times.
He does.
But just the back and forth between him and his buddy, like Tony, who is wearing what appears to be like a costume shop pimp outfit or something.
And he brings it up, not subtly.
Not at all.
He's just like, hey, what's with the outfit? And he's like, what are you talking about? He's like, I look hip. He was like, no, you look like a pimp from the 70s. And he was like, what? This is cool. And he was like, you look like an undercover cop trying to be hip. And he's like,
I am an undercover cop trying to fit in.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, hey, dude, you just blew your cover right there. And why are you pretending to be an undercover cop at a place called Roads?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, dude, like what's going to be happening there?
You could have just worn your regular clothes.
Yeah, you would have been fine. You would have been fine. Nobody would have known. I think a lot of people.
You don't even look like a cop.
Yeah, I mean, if cops aren't wearing like their dress blues or uniforms in any way or have their badge displayed, you probably don't know that they're cops.
Not at all.
Yeah. You just look at them, you're like, oh, that's just some dude or some lady.
So the premise of the movie, if you have not seen it, is Mike Myers' character meets a lovely young woman who runs a butcher shop.
Yes.
And
Harriet.
Yeah.
Sweet Harriet.
He kind of takes a liking to her
Quickly.
From the get-go. He goes to the butcher shop just to get a thing of haggis, which he finds out later that his mom doesn't even like it.
Yeah, well, she said that she even said she was like, your father's going to love this.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't know what haggis was. Even back then, I didn't know what haggis was. Like when I first watched it, I just found out recently within like the past 2 years what haggis is.
Yeah, it's not the same as hummus.
No, not at all. Hummus is like a cheese spread with a little bit of spicing
and
everything. Haggis,
mashed chickpeas.
Well, haggis is it's a sheep's bladder. That's all. That's all it is, people. So look at next time you go to a butcher shop, if you're like, man, let me try some haggis. It's a sheep's bladder. So we've warned you. We have told you. So if you still get it, that's on you.
If anybody offers you haggis, you have been warned.
Yep.
I've never tried it, so I don't know if it's good or not. I have had Brunschweiger, which my father introduced to me and my brother.
I bet that was fun.
But we used to like it. We used to just put a couple slices on slices of like white bread with Miracle Whip, and we would just eat it like that.
Nice.
But, I think I bought it a few years back, just, all right, reminiscing. You know, this is kind of nostalgic, and I was like, I don't know what I was thinking. This is not really good.
I think it used to be good.
I remember it being okay, but maybe that was just because I was at home with family. I don't. But eating it alone, yeah, nope.
This is the most depressing day of my life.
Yeah, because it's basically like liver, like pate kind of thing. So, but I'm trying to remember what brought him back to the butcher shop.
He just liked her.
Yeah, he happens to. So the first time he goes there,
it's just him and her.
It's just him and her. Yeah, she's not even at the counter at the time.
Yeah, she gets the haggis and everything, and then, but then he goes back, and I don't know when he goes back. I guess you would like to think it's probably a couple days goes by, and then he goes back, and the place is like packed, and he just comes in. And he goes like, "Hi, don't know if you remember me," and she's like, "Yeah, haggis, right?" He's like, "Yeah, that's right." So, and then she's like trying to take orders and doing everything. And she was like, I have a question for you. He's like, yeah, sure. She was like, do you actually like haggis? And he was like, no, I find it disgusting and repulsive. He was like, but my father loves it. So he starts talking about that. And he was like, I actually find most Scottish cuisine repulsive. And I believe that most Scottish cuisine was made on a dare.
Yeah, but she's got this whole crowd of people that are like bitching at her. You got one guy that's like, I just want this one New York steak. That's it.
I need a New York
and
strip
so
steak.
I can get out of here.
Yeah, I need a New York strip steak, cut a 1/4-inch thick, no more, no less. That's all I want, and I want to get out of here. Could you get that for me, please? But then that's when he goes and he was like, hey, my dad's a butcher, and I used to work in a shop, so I could give you a hand if you want. And sure enough, I mean, why wouldn't you accept the help?
Yeah. Yeah, that's rough. I've been on that side of the counter before. Not in a butcher type setting, but I know what it's like to have a crowd of people on the other side. So
don't we all?
But yeah, this leads to a date between the two of them, and they hit it off, and they ended up doing the horizontal polka.
Yeah. Well, he goes back to her place, and he's told his buddy already, like, I always find something wrong with the girl. Or, well, no, he doesn't tell his buddy that. His buddy tells him that. He's like, dude, you got to get over this. Like, every single woman that you date, every single woman that you like, when it starts to get serious, you just find some reason to break up with her. He's like, that's not true. And he was like, oh, what about Jane? And he was like, she was a criminal, or she was a thief. And he was like, she wasn't a thief. And he was like, yes, she was. He was like, to this day, I still don't know where my cat is. And then he was like, well, what about Helen? And he was like, she was in the mafia. And he's like, she was not in the mafia. And he was like, she refused to tell me what she did for a living. He was like, yes, she was in the Cosa Nostra. And he's like, no, she wasn't. He was like, she was just unemployed. And he was like, well, that's the perfect cover. And then there was like a third lady, like Betty or Dawn or something. And he was like, she smelled like soup. So he just always finds this reason to leave this person or to leave whatever person. So when he ends up back at her place on the very first date, he kind of realizes like, you know, I really like you. I think you're really beautiful. But he's like, I'm afraid that I'm going to kiss you. And then if I kiss you right here,
we'll probably end up kissing on the couch.
And then we'll end up kissing in your bedroom. And the bedroom part is where I just go too fast. He was like, so I think, you know, I really want to go slow. And I don't think that we should spend the night together. And she's like, I want you to spend the night here. And he's like, I have absolutely no problem with that whatsoever.
Funny how that changes.
Yeah, it is.
So just like the intro that I attempted poorly, he does the poetry, like the improvised poetry, whatever, with the jazz band there as the backup. And the initial one was about one of his exes.
Yes.
And so that one starts out with woman, whoa, man. Whoa, man.
Jazz hands.
Jazz hands. It doesn't work unless you use the jazz hands. You can't see the jazz hands, but she was a thief. You got to believe. She stole my heart and my cat. Betty, Judy, Josie, and those hot pussy cats. They make me horny Saturday morning. Girls of cartoons won't leave me in ruins. I want to be Betty's Barney. Hey, Jane, get me off this crazy thing called love.
Such terrible poetry.
And that's it.
Yeah.
And he gets the biggest round of applause for that.
And in all honesty, it's so bad. But I mean, if he's doing like an open mic somewhere, it's like, how much does he have to be making doing that? I mean, I would think not very much at all.
I'm pretty sure he's doing it pro bono.
But he has a phenomenal apartment in San Francisco.
Yeah, I don't know what he does for a living. That can't be it.
I think that's it.
That's bullshit.
I think that's all he does.
And we're not even getting paid to do this?
I know.
This is way better than that.
It is. We have quality content, people.
This is before Spotify. It's not a lazy man's game. I'll tell you that much. But so yeah, they end up hitting it off, and then what's her face? Harriet leaves before he gets up.
Yeah.
And he meets her
sister Rose,
that he didn't even know existed.
Nope. Oh, she talked about those people? Yeah, because he was like, she talked about because she was like, did she talk about me? And he's like, no, you didn't come up. He was like, but, you know, we talked about a martial arts guy and then another person named Ralph. And then she was like, oh, she talked about them, but not me, huh? And he was like, well, we talked about the martial arts guy, and she sort of shouted Ralph. And then she's like, oh, you know Harriet. And he's like, actually, no, I don't. And he's like, but you
really
had sex with her, right? It's like, hello.
Don't judge me. But what's interesting was Rose offers to make him like all this really good sounding
silver
food.
dollar pancakes, freshly squeezed orange juice, I think crisp bacon and Kona coffee. And he was like, yeah, it sounds great. And then she's pouring Fruit Loops. And she was like, I didn't have any of those other things.
Well, I mean, Fruit Loops, it's a light breakfast, and it's kind of supposed to be high in fiber.
Yeah.
He's like, I also enjoy Apple Jacks.
Oh, I have those too.
But you get a weird vibe from her.
Yeah.
Like pretty quickly.
Well, it's funny because like you can tell he's uncomfortable. She doesn't really give off any social cues whatsoever. But then finally just sits there and goes, oh, well, you know, I got to go. So she gets up to leave, and she was like, well, don't worry. I won't tell Harriet anything happened.
Like,
and he's like, whoa,
did happen.
Rose. Like, wait a minute. He's like, nothing did happen. And then she's like, oh, well, Just be careful.
She's more like,
You let me be the judge of that. So,
but he finds out about some murders that have taken place.
Yeah, because his mom reads the news.
He finds a paper.
The news?
The news.
Yeah, Weekly World Edition.
He finds a newspaper in the bathroom.
It's the 8th most circulated newspaper in the world.
Is it? Has to be.
They said it. It's got to be.
Yeah, so a woman that habitually murders her husbands. Like, she gets married and then immediately kills them. So the paper says.
Mrs. X. Not to be confused formerly of Twitter.
Yes. Yes. I didn't make that connection, but good job.
That's just what I do.
But there's suspicions that Harriet, who he has taken the liking to.
He's heard rumblings.
There's whispers that maybe she's involved. Maybe she is this Mrs. X that's
and then
going around.
Immediately Tony's like, "See, you're doing it again. You're looking for something." And he was like, "Yeah, but I have a really strong sneaky suspicion about this one."
Yeah.
So just like he has a really strong sneaky suspicion about every other girl that he has dated.
Yeah. This is different though.
Yeah.
Somehow. This kind of like similar to Seinfeld, because Seinfeld would do the same thing. He would find things he didn't like about women. Like there was one that her hands were too big or something. Man hands. Yeah.
I think it was funny too, because I think in that scene, like it shows his girlfriend or whatever, like crushing a lobster, like with her bare hands. Like that's how big her hands are.
She had bears for hands.
But I do like the other scene, and honestly, tell you the truth, how anybody made it through this scene with a straight face is beyond me. When they go to Alcatraz, and the guide walks up, and he's like, "Hello, everyone here. All the tour guides were once guards on this island, including myself. My name is John Johnson, but everyone here calls me Vicky." But then goes through to start telling all of these just horrific crimes and stuff. Like he's talking about he was like, "All right," he was like, "Close it in, people, close it in." And then he's telling him, he's like, "Now, this is something that the other tour guides aren't going to tell you." It's like, "But Machine Gun Kelly had what we like to call in the prison system a bitch." Well, one night in a jealous rage, Kelly took a makeshift knife or a shiv and cut the bitch's eyes out. And there's like this long pause, and you just see Mike Myers, and he was like, "Another thing about Harriet." And then Tony's like, "Shh, don't.
But they're standing right in the front.
Yeah. He's just sitting there.
There is no disguising the fact that you're talking through the guide here.
Yeah. And then he's just looking at him. He's like, "So the next day, Kelly and his buddies took turns pissing into the bitch's ocular cavities."
Horrible. Just
Cafeteria's this way, people.
Yeah. Who's hungry? I thought it was weird because I understand Alcatraz is a tourist attraction.
Yes.
I don't know if they still do tours there or not.
As of a few years ago, I believe so.
But people that reside in San Francisco, I wouldn't feel would go on this tour. I feel like it would be more people going to San Francisco as tourists.
Yeah, see, I mean, if I went to San Francisco, there would be things that I would want to do. Like I would want to go and see the Golden Gate Bridge. I would want to go to Alcatraz because I'm a tourist.
Yeah, but if you live there, I don't think you would do that.
No, I don't believe so either.
I thought it was strange. But you didn't mention who the tour guide was.
The late,
great
Phil Hartman. May he rest.
May he rest, indeed. And then another one who was taken too soon makes an appearance later on in the movie. And his name escapes me. Hold on.
Are you talking about my favorite scene of the entire movie?
Yeah, where he's Tony's trying to commandeer the vehicle.
Yeah, it was Charles Grodin.
Grodin, that's it.
Yes.
For some reason, I kept thinking Gruben. Like,
sir, I'm with the San Francisco Police Department, and I am on he was like, I have an emergency, and I really need to commandeer your vehicle.
No.
He's like, what? He's like, no. He's like, may I please commandeer your vehicle? And he's like, no. I happen to know for a fact that you have no right to commandeer my vehicle. He's like, you're just not going to bend on this commandeering thing, are you?
But he eventually allows him to
he just
hitch
gives
a
him
ride.
But I do like it because, it's storming outside, so rain's pouring down. He's driving, I would assume, the speed limit, but Tony has his hands up on the dashboard and he's like drumming his fingers really fast. So that's when Charles Grodin looks at me. He's like, would you mind not doing that, please? He's like, oh, what? This bothers you? And he's like, no, it's one of my favorite things. It just gives like this piercing glare.
So there's some interesting back and forth with, I guess, Mike or Charlie. I guess I should just say Charlie.
Yeah, Charlie.
The way he feels about the situation and, the relationship. He's scared to death. He's trying to find an escape from the relationship.
Yeah.
That is blossoming. Because he doesn't know for sure, but he believes that she is the murderer.
Yeah.
Hence the name of the movie, So I Married an Ex-Murderer. They're not married at this point, but...
No, but I mean, all signs are pointing towards that area.
So he actually goes and breaks up with her. And he doesn't really have a great explanation.
No, his explanation is so stupid. Like, I mean, they're out in the park, and then she was like, why did you want to meet me out here? And the way she even says that in that scene is kind of weird, because she's like, why did you want to meet me out here in the park with all these people? How come we couldn't have just done this at the shop? It's like, and in his mind, he can't be like, because I need witnesses. Like, there's got to be witnesses, because when I tell you, I'm going to tell you, like, you're going to kill me. And he was like, oh, I just thought it'd be nice to go for a walk. And he was like, basically just lays this thing on her, like, hey, I don't think we should be in a relationship anymore. And then she was like, immediately, I do love her reaction to it, because she takes one step in and she was like, why? Tell me the truth. Like, don't you even think about lying to me. I will know. I will find out.
And they did a good job in this movie, the way that they kind of portrayed her as.
She looked like a psychopath at some points.
She
does kill her husbands.
It's very believable.
It is. But on other times you see her and you're like, what are you talking about? She's so sweet and innocent. Like, look at her. She's beautiful. I mean, come on. She's gorgeous. Like, she is not going to kill anyone. And then she'll like make a face and you're like, oh yeah, no, she's killed people.
She's insane.
She's done some stuff. But then he's nervous. So she's like, well, tell me the truth. And he was like, I'm afraid you're going to leave me. And she was like, I'm going to cleave you.
I'm going to cleave you.
He was like, no, you're leaving me, that you're going to leave me. So I just made a preemptive strike. And she was like, so you rejected me. He was like, well, yeah, that's kind of way. That's how it breaks down. That checks out. So, but then he gets like a few days later, you can tell that Charlie is just in this funk. Like, he can't write anything. He can't do anything. He just seems like down in the dumps and depressed. And then that's when Tony calls and he was like, hey, I don't think it really matters anymore, but someone just came in and confessed to the murder of Ralph Elliott. And he was like, what? Ah, that's great. So now all of a sudden he's just like, oh, well, she's not a murderer. Now I can be with her. And it's like, well, you could have just been with her anyway. And just taking your odds, man.
Yeah, but he goes
always,
back and
always go out in public.
Yeah, but he tries to get her back and she wants nothing to do with it.
Yeah, so he writes that shitty ass poem. You thought the other ones were bad? Oh, hers is really bad.
Yeah.
He even says it in the poem.
That it sucks.
Yeah.
It sucks. It both.
This poem sucks.
Ed? Yeah. I mean, I don't think we have a whole copy of the original.
No, I don't think we do, because I know it was longer than what we're reading right now.
Yeah, it might be this one.
And it's not even typed. It's not even typed out right.
I think this one might be right. because we've got
Oh, yeah.
Harriet.
Yeah.
Heart-hearted harbinger of haggis.
Heart-hearted?
Hard-hearted. Farted.
Hard-hearted.
You farted?
No.
Ah.
Just read the fucking words, man.
We're professionals
It's
here.
not that hard.
I see what you did there.
Yeah. Hard-hearted harbinger.
No,
of haggis.
see, you fucked up too.
I said harbinger. Of haggis.
Beautiful, bemused, bellicose butcher,
Untrusting,
unknowing. The hand motions that
Yeah.
he does like really sells it. Unlove,
Ed.
He wants you back. He screams into the night air like a fireman going to a window that has no fire.
When he reads that it's so bad. That's what makes it bad, because he was like, he wants you back. He screams into the night air like a fireman going to a window that has no fire.
Except the passion of his heart.
God, it's awful.
I am lonely. It's really hard. This poem sucks.
It did. It sucked out loud. Can't believe they put it in the movie.
But somehow it wins her back.
Yeah, she was just like, sploosh.
Yeah. This was his version of the boombox over his head.
Yep. Terrible. Terrible, this poem.
Don't you forget about me. Fun stuff.
And then there is the scene where he throws his parents their 30th wedding anniversary.
Yes, not their 30th birthday party.
Yeah, like someone thought.
Hey.
They're older than 30. I can see it.
Shush.
I love it. But at this party, he proposes to Harriet. And that is even funny because he was like, Harriet, like, will you marry me? And she's just like, no. And he's like, please? And she was like, let's just live together. Yeah, that's all we need to do is just live together. We'll just live together. So, and then, but then finally she succumbs to her emotions. And she's like, okay, yeah, let's get married. So they get married and they go to this place, Poet's Corner, I think is what it was called. And I pointed out to you that, and I noticed it every single time that I watch it, when they pull onto this dirt road, there's a sign right there and it's like Poet's Corner. And then right below it has an
like
arrow.
40 miles.
Yeah, it's like 40 miles in this direction. It's like, fuck that shit.
I don't like where this is going.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's 40 miles into mountainous territory. I don't think so.
I think that's the direction to Witch's Mountain.
Yeah, this honestly is where people go to kill other people.
Yeah. Some have tried.
Yeah,
That checks out. But Rose, she looks like a witch.
Yep.
So it makes a lot of sense. Yeah, they end up there. Of course, it's a dark and stormy night. Why wouldn't it be?
Yeah, of course. I mean, they're just storms. There's storms all the time.
But it's interesting that Tony hitches a ride on that like private plane to get to this place, whereas they just drove there. It's like you can't commandeer a vehicle, but you can get a freaking plane.
It's the city's money at that point.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. But the guy that plays the pilot, which you're better with the actors' names than I am.
Well, he's not an actor. He's a stand-up comedian. That was Stephen Wright. And he always told some of the funniest jokes. Like when he did stand-up, he was so hysterical because
he was deadpan the entire time.
Yeah. One of my favorite jokes he always told, he's like, yeah, so I put a skylight in my living room the other day in my place. Like, the people that live above me are furious. And then another one he always told was, on my floor I have a map of the world painted. He's like, it's actual size. Down in the corner it says 1 mile equals 1 mile.
Yeah, he's a odd dude.
Yeah.
He's definitely an odd dude, and his character is the same.
Yeah. And Tony's telling him, he was like, you've done this before, right? And he's like, yeah, I've done this 100 times. I've never done it at night though. And then he's like, what? And then he was like, you know what all these instruments are and everything, right? And he was like, yeah, I know what all these are. And he was like, well, what's that? And he was like, that's the artificial horizon.
It's more reliable than the real horizon.
It's more accurate than the actual horizon.
Makes no sense.
Yeah. And then he falls asleep at one point and he's like, what are you doing? Wake up. And he was like, oh, wow. Like, man, I was having the craziest dream. And he was like, I don't care. Just fly the plane. He was like, yeah, I had a dream. I was born 8.5 months premature. The doctors were freaking out.
I think everybody would be freaking out at that point.
I don't care about your dream. And he's like, wait, have I told you this dream before?
This is the first time we've met. I don't know if they've met prior to that, honestly.
But no, I mean, so all these things culminate to the one thing that, Charlie didn't want to believe. When Tony finally lands, he calls the hotel. They bring him the phone. And they start, he was like, hello? He was like, Charlie, it's Tony. Are you okay? And he was like, yeah, I'm great. Never better. What's going on? He's like, Charlie, Harriet is Mrs. X. And then all of a sudden it's like, and, I guess me being someone of common sense and logic, I'd probably be like, good one. Because, I mean, why are you going to call me? Like, literally on my honeymoon. And you know how much I worry, literally, about everything. And you're going to call me with this news, and you're not here. Like, that's bullshit, man. That's a chump move.
Yeah, horrible timing.
Yeah. So then, they want to have the first couples dance and everything. And then people start cutting in and, then the power goes out and he was like, help me. I've married a, and then the power comes back on. He's like, wonderful woman. Loving, caring woman. They're like, all right, well, they've had enough of this crowd. So we're taking everyone to bed. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, if I ever end up at a place like this on my honeymoon, I would be the one killing people, because I would, just the whole thing when they're like, oh, let's put them in the honeymoon chair. And it's like, what? I'd be like, no, I'm fine. I can walk on my own. I have 2 feet that are not broken. Trust me.
Yeah, and that chair looked filthy.
I don't even care about the filth. You're just, no, like, I don't like this kind of stuff. So, but then everybody from the restaurant, like, escorts them to their room. It's like, no, you people stay and enjoy your food. I don't know why you're coming with us. This is weird. This would be like where I would be acting like Jim Carrey, the Grinch. And I'll be like, I'm going to sue. I'll get a lawyer.
It's kind of like
there's going to be hell to pay.
That blanket that was in the proposal.
Oh, yeah, the baby maker.
Yeah. But I like how Charlie tries to get the bellhop to stay there. Come have a nightcap.
Hey, why don't you have a nightcap? He was like, no, I'm sure that you want to be alone.
Like, no, have a nightcap. Come on.
No, sir, I really don't think I should.
Have a nightcap. So, I don't know what I would do in the same situation, because he was convinced that it wasn't her, and now he's convinced that it is her, but he's married now, and
it's just a whirlwind of emotions.
So much to think about all at one time. But what I'm kind of curious about is Harriet. I'm guessing she acts the way that she does when the subjects come up, like the whole Ralph thing,
right,
and whatever the other guys' names were.
I don't think it ever said anyone else's name.
It was just what they did for a living or something.
Yeah, because I think victim 1, it just said like lounge singer, and then victim 2 was Ralph Elliott, and then victim 3 was like martial arts expert.
But like when he confronts her about her exes and stuff, because they were in the car at one point, and he mentions he's doing the puppet thing with her mouth. Like he's got his hand on her chin.
Oh, yeah, when they're driving up to Poet's Corner.
Yeah, because he's like working her mouth like a puppet.
Yeah.
Like Samuel L. Jackson.
Although he didn't have to shove her hand up his ass.
No. She may have been into that. I don't know.
Work your mouth like a puppet.
But he's saying all these nice things. He's like, you're the best husband I've ever had. And then she immediately, like, it hits a chord, like it hits a nerve. And she's like, what do you mean by that?
Dude, she grabbed his wrist with such fury. Like, what are you talking?
Like,
why would you say something like that?
What are you getting at?
How
there?
dare you, sir?
Huh?
He's like, what? I just thought it would be funny.
It was fun. It was a joke.
Yeah, look at my face. Do I look like I'm amused? What are you, a clown?
I wrote about it in my diary later that night. Charlie had the funniest joke today. I speak to myself in the third person. Yeah, so the subject of like the husbands comes up, and then he mentions like at one point it was like Miami, and then like there was another, like, wasn't it like Atlantic City or something? He's like, I don't like talking about like that time in my life.
Yeah.
Like it's just like a bad time. Like, what are you covering up exactly?
Yeah, it's like, you're not making sense here, lady. Like, come on, you're skirting the issue.
If you've actually got nothing to hide, then you should have no problem talking about it.
Right.
And I don't think you ever really find out like why she was acting that way, unless she was covering up for her sister and she's aware.
No, you find out exactly why.
Then I just wasn't paying attention.
No, you weren't.
I was in the bathroom for a while.
No, the reason that she didn't like talking about it was because her sister Rose actually did the same thing, or was going to do the same thing with Charlie that she did with the other husbands. Harriet, I think up until that point, thought to herself that literally all of her other husbands just left her. So she's thinking they're off somewhere, like living life, having fun, and just being like, I don't know what the hell I was thinking. Like, I don't think at any point in time did Harriet know that her husbands were dead because Rose killed them.
Yeah, and that makes sense because she wrote that note.
Yeah, because when they get into the room and she was like, Charlie, there's something I need to tell you. It's like, I've been married before. And he was like, I know about your other husbands. But for some weird reason, I don't know why, when they go into the room, there's a fireplace. That's nice. It's cozy. Next to it is a log with an axe in the log, like a small little axe or hatchet just in the log. That's weird.
Yes.
To me.
It's very weird.
Yeah. So I'm like, all right, whatever.
Normally the log axing is done outside.
Yes.
Not in the room.
So, he was like, I know about your other husbands. And then he was like, I don't know why you're trying to kill me. And then she was like, kill you? I don't know what you're talking about. So they get in like that little scuffle and he locks her in the closet. And then he goes over to the phone because he's going to call the police. And he looks down and sees the note and he's like, Dear Harriet. He was like, I just don't think I can do this anymore. I'm really sorry I hurt you. Love, Charlie. He's like, I didn't write this. But then he turns around and that's when Rose is coming at him with the axe. And he's like, what the fuck? He's like, Rose. And then Harriet's like, what? And he was like, Rose just tried to kill me. And she was like, what? Rose? So she's like, it's all kind of starting to come together for her. But then Rose says easily probably one of the funniest lines she has in the entire movie when she's talking about the note.
Like, you're not supposed to be in here.
But it's funny because she was like, I wrote this note and you're not supposed to be in the room once the note has been written and placed on the table. Do you understand me?
What an odd duck.
Yeah. So, Charlie tries to escape. He escapes. The only solace that he can find is the roof. So she follows him up there. But then Tony shows up at the cottage.
Still believing that Harriet was the murderer.
Yeah. Breaks into the room. He's looking around. Can't find Charlie. He hears Harriet screaming. He shoots the closet doorknob. And as she goes running out, she's like, come on. They're out on the roof. We got to save them. And he was like, no, I don't think so. He shoots through the roof, almost shoots Charlie.
In the crotchal region.
And then I think what I love about this next scene is, he has Harriet sitting down, like tied to the chair. And Tony's lighting that cigarette, but the flame is like 8 inches tall. And he's like, all right, let's just take this down a notch. But the entire time, you hear like the axe swinging on the roof and you hear
Charlie screaming.
You hear Charlie grunting. He's just like, ah. And then you hear, "Ah." And he's like, so you're telling me right now that Charlie's up on the roof? And she was like, yes, you can hear him on the roof right now.
Right now.
It's like, all right.
You're not hearing this?
We can do this here, or we can do this downtown.
We don't have that kind of time. So, open your ears. For fuck's sake. Go outside and help Charlie.
Oh, God.
I will wait right here.
Yeah. I mean, but it's so funny. It is. I mean, it was such great comedy.
Yeah, there was a lot of great moments in this movie. And it's definitely one that I could put on whenever. And I know we have the track record of not watching movies after doing an episode about them, but
honestly, I've been finding it easier now because
you actually popped the cherry.
Well, I have with a few of the movies. Office Space I still have a little bit of PTSD.
That's understandable.
One. Yeah, I mean, we watched that like 30 times, I think, in one day. Then I mean, all the early stuff I still haven't gone back to, but like Holmes and Watson, I've watched that one. I mean, there are a few movies on the list that I've watched since we've done it, but I think one thing that does help out a lot is you and I watched the movie. I mean, I don't really know about you, but I mean, I watch it just like once or twice, and it's like, okay, I'll go in there and give it my all. So I think that's something that's helped out with that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I get it. And like the Christmas movies, because it's tradition.
Right.
Like I watch those every year still. Like I don't deprive myself of the entertainment just because, we've done episodes on it.
Right.
So we talk about these movies for a reason, because we enjoy them.
Yes.
And I think it's really mainly because we're preparing for other episodes. Prepare for the episode, sir.
Why are you preparing? You're always preparing. Just do the episodes. Just doing it, sir.
Doing the episode, sir. So our focus is usually watching movies to prep for the next episode instead of watching the movies that we've already done. So I think that's really the main reason, and not that, well, we don't ever have to watch that movie again.
Right.
I definitely don't look at it that way, but yeah, this is definitely a good one. I know Mike Myers doesn't really do a whole lot of movies as much anymore. I mean, he did a few, like he did the 3 Austin Powers movies, and then he did the Love Guru, which I know that didn't do really well.
Yeah.
But after that, I don't really know what else he's done.
Well, I mean, more voiceover work really than anything. Like, the all the Shrek movies. I mean, that's DreamWorks money right there, baby. But he did actually do a movie in the late 90s, I believe, with Ryan Philippe and Salma Hayek called Studio 54. And he did a really good job in that movie.
Was he like a producer or something in that?
No, I think he was like the owner of like this nightclub. But no, it was no, that was a really, really good movie. Really well done.
I don't know if I saw that one or not.
Yeah, I think it was it was about Studio 54, the nightclub in New York back in the 70s.
Wait, that's not the one that Wahlberg did he?
No, he did Boogie Nights.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Where you see his penis.
Yeah. His quote unquote. I call bullshit on that one.
What I thought was funny is Dave Letterman, I think, asked him about it, and he was like, was that really you? He's like, a lot of women want to know. And he was like, Dave, camera adds 10 pounds.
Well played. Well played, good sir.
No, so, but back to So I Married an Axe Murderer. I mean, there are a lot of good, funny scenes in this movie. I mean, far too many to go over, but all in all, as a whole, I think this movie here did hold up.
Yeah.
I think it's still just as funny today as it was when I watched it back in the 90s.
Yes, that's right, Dutch. Preparation H does feel good on the whole. All right. Well, if you haven't seen it, you got to give it a watch. I don't know if it's streaming anywhere for free, but
it is. I can't remember where. I think it was like Peacock or Tubi. I saw it on, but I just happened to own the DVD.
Well, quick Google search will tell you where to stream it.
Yep.
But hope you enjoyed this episode. As always, reach out to us on the socials at the Quotable Podcast on Instagram and Quotable Podcast, but the O's are zeros.
I swear.
All right. Well, until next time, Quotable Podcast. Out.
Harriet. Sweet Harriet.